We need to figure out what doctor we want at the end and give them those skills in medical school. Teach them the knowledge, the attitudes, the behaviors, and then have them practice them at an advanced level in residency. And that's what TCC has been able to accomplish.
It is a 3-year accelerated medical school, in addition to having our students train in a residency program. And the medical students get to spend 1 day per week in our residency clinic, and then they're automatically in our residency. And then they go on and actually work in Northeast Ohio in primary care.
The one thing that TCC has also done is go out into the community and make partnerships with community organizations to help bridge those differences that happen in communities. We have to change education while we change the model, while we change the health system, while we move into the community.
It was beneficial to be working in the clinical setting right off the bat, first year of medical school, because you got more comfortable working within the Cleveland Clinic healthcare system.
Before our first day of medical school, we were in the clinic seeing patients, and then we continued that on the first 2 years, which is generally thought to be mostly in the books. But we were able to connect with that human side of like seeing patients early on and remind ourselves why we're doing this.
In medical school, you kind of get lost in the books, in the library, in the studying, in the tests. But coming into the clinic, seeing people interact with patients, being able to interact with patients myself kind of reminded me why I was doing this.
Becoming a resident in the same clinic that I spent 3 years in, it just made the transition so seamless and so smooth, and allowed me to focus on taking care of patients and not worrying about how to use the electronic medical record, the names of the staff members in the office, because I already knew them.
It's also been amazing to be able to take care of these patients that we've seen since we were medical students, and now they're some of my own patients, or being able to be like, hey, I'm graduating now and I'm going to be on my own, and it just comes full circle.
The TCC especially really understands that everything we do in healthcare is only 20% of an outcome. And so it's an education where they look at the other 80%, where they look at zip code and transportation and poverty and education and everything as a way of improving a system to get better health outcomes for a zip code.
The most important lesson I learned is somebody who I met in residency said something that kind of summed it up. The most important work that we'll do as physicians is probably going to be outside of the clinic walls. How to meet people where they are in the community can really go a long way in improving patients' livelihoods.
I've really learned to kind of take that systems-wide, zoomed-out approach to why things happen. What's causing the patient's health or what's causing the patient's concern is often out of the patient's control and is much greater than what's happening in our visit that day. I think it's really led to more deep discussions with patients, and also has really empowered me to be more of an advocate for patients within the community.
Learning how lack of resources, having resources, how that affects health, it kind of prepares us to be leaders within the medical field and in our community.
I would say the partnership with Cleveland Clinic has trained me so well. I always tell people I feel like I'm going to be such a well-rounded family physician. All the connections I've been able to make is just like invaluable, and I think that's probably one of the main reasons why that I would want to stay here, is just the training and the people around you are just fabulous.
The connections and the resources that Cleveland Clinic provides are invaluable to a place like TCC or OU.
We had the opportunity to train at a world-class facility.
Being here gave me real-world context for what I was learning in class, and then gave me a real application of what I was learning. I would say some of the most important lessons that I've learned through TCC training is just to have so much empathy with our patients and just really look at them as a whole person and get to know them much more than just their medical diagnoses.
Now that I'm in my job search, having those connections with Cleveland Clinic doctors and also knowing that I'm welcome here at any time is very, very comforting.
So I'm staying with the Cleveland Clinic. I signed on recently to continue in family medicine. I definitely want to practice family medicine and take care of everybody and anybody who needs it.
I will be working for the clinic next year. I work a lot with the homeless population in Cleveland, and I'm hoping to be able to just kind of expand upon that. I'm going to general family medicine here with the Cleveland Clinic. I'll also be coming back to Precept here as part of that, and kind of staying engaged with medical teaching. So that's also important to me, which I learned in TCC.
Scaling this program throughout the United States, I think, would be wonderful, to provide this primary care workforce of the future that really has their North Star as trying to improve the lives of their patients and communities.